Welcome to Coach on the Couch. I'm your host, Jason Zaleski, and we continue our 2018 football preview. And with us on the couch today is Spencer Rocket head coach Jason Gorst. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to have a good time. We're going to learn a little bit more about you. We'll learn a whole lot about Spencer Rocket football and who knows what else we'll get into here during the show. But so as we get started here, people that are new to the audience or maybe new to Spencer Columbus football, how long have you been coaching, and how do you stay motivated to keep coming back every year?
Well, this would be my 8th year as a varsity coach there, and it's a big part of, I think, kind of my family's life as a whole, and so definitely have that support from home, and the work ethic that our kids and our coaches put in is pretty fantastic. So it's really just a pleasure to be there and a great opportunity in that sense from my perspective.
One thing I forgot, and so just for those watching here, I usually prep the coaches ahead of time for everything we're going to talk about. But one thing I forgot, and Coach, I promise it's not a trick question. Right. Just talk briefly about the partnership with Columbus Catholic, and then the kids that come over and how they contribute and how they make the team what it is.
Yeah, it's really a fantastic relationship that grows. I think year in and year out, we continue to grow that relationship between the two schools and the communities, and kind of create that one unique, SC community and SC family. So, there's a lot of support, I think, on both sides, both sets of parents, both communities, and once we get out on the football field, we don't really then even notice, as far as who's from Spencer, who's from Columbus, anything along those lines. So there's just been a lot of supportive people along the way, and a few logistics here and there that we have to figure out, but it's been a great thing. It gives kids the opportunity to play football that might not otherwise have the opportunity. And just that ability to grow and work together as a team, and it's pretty neat just to see how all the guys get along, and it's all as one team.
Yeah, and it looks like it even extends beyond football. As I travel around central Wisconsin all year long, throughout all the seasons, I see Spencer kids at a Columbus game or Columbus kids at the Spencer softball game. So it really is just a big community is what it's turned out to be, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Like I say, there's just a lot of really good people involved on both sides, and kind of to the point where, like I say, once we're up and running, you lose track of who's who, and it really doesn't matter. So it's been a great thing, and creates opportunities for kids. Yeah.
All right. Well, good. Thanks, Coach, for that. So as we look back to 2017, here's a couple scores from last year: 54-22, 62-8, 54-0. Just your thoughts on 2017.
Overall, I thought that it was a very good season. I thought we performed well for the most part. We were pretty dynamic, I think, in all three areas of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. So overall, it was a very good year, a little bit short of what we wanted to accomplish in some areas. But nonetheless, anytime that you're winning 9 football games in a year, it's tough to do, and the kids should be proud of their accomplishments.
Yeah, and it was fun for us to watch. We got a chance to do a number of highlights of the football games last year. Also live streams. We'll be doing live streams again in 2018, along with highlights, and you can find all that at ZaleskiSportsShow.com and on Facebook at Zaleski Sports. So you talked about maybe it didn't end exactly the way that you wanted. Those kids that are now seniors and juniors, they were juniors and sophomores last year during that playoff run. You won the first playoff game. And then ran into Amherst, and as it turns out, a lot of teams ran into Amherst and bounced off. Just talk about what that experience now means and how that can translate to action on the football field this year.
Yeah, the experience is great, and anytime you go against good football teams, you learn something about yourself, whether as a coach, as a player, as a team, and there's nothing else that can really replicate those types of experience. So when you look at a team like Amherst, and you look at a team like a Stanley Boyd or an Eau Claire Regis, playing in those games is extremely valuable, and having the number of kids we have coming back, having had those experiences, I do think bodes well. It's a little bit different sometimes in those games, and how you handle situations, and we want to just continue to improve in those situations.
Yeah, and Coach, I'll give you a chance now to call out maybe just a handful of those seniors that are on this year's team, and what you expect out of them and the whole senior class this year.
Yeah, we do have a nice, very experienced senior class coming back, and they've played a lot of football. They love the game. They've been very motivated. I've been very impressed with the pace of practice and whatnot, which a lot of times is dictated by our older kids. And so when you look at, Logan Schernitz is a really, standout two-way player on offense, defense. Carson Hildebrandt, both at running back and linebacker. Jared Mandel has a lot of experience at quarterback for us, really entering his third year as a starter. That's a really big piece of things, and so when you look at the number of those kids, those three kids, you throw in like an Ethan Meese as a defensive back and a tight end. A lot of these guys have been playing since they were sophomores, so not only are they experienced seniors, they're a little bit more experienced than a lot of times you'll see.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned a couple of those names. So hitting newsstands all across central Wisconsin here in the next couple days is our Fall Sports magazine. You had an opportunity to be interviewed for the magazine. We even put your picture in it. How about that, huh? And then Jared Mandel and Logan there inside the magazine. They can folks can pick those up all across central Wisconsin and right there in Spencer as well. So we're really proud of that magazine. I think we're going to have some good fun with it. And like you said, some of those kids that you called out there got an opportunity to be in the magazine. So we look forward to kind of staying in touch that way. As the season progresses, there's no doubt that you don't finish the season like you started. The team changes, gets better, gets different. Maybe who are some of those others, maybe sophomores, juniors, that have a chance to really propel themselves through the season?
Yeah, that's one of those questions you don't totally know. Coming into a season, you have an idea of your depth chart, and you get into a week or two, and that changes pretty quickly, and you do an inter-squad scrimmage, and it changes more, and a scrimmage and more, and so until you play a game on a Friday night or a Thursday or Saturday, an actual game, you're not totally sure what you have. So I do think there's a number of kids that really could be on the verge of a breakout. I've been very impressed with Austin Bacon. He's really come into camp this year, and both as a running back and as a safety, he's been pretty dynamic. We've got Nate Carroll back, who was kind of a force last year on the offensive and defensive line. So, those are a couple more kids that I think will be, pretty big contributors. Hayden Ballman had some pretty good experience by the end of last year too as a sophomore, so he's coming back as a junior here. So, those are a few kids, but like I say, we don't know till we hit the game, and every year there's surprises, and it's amazing how much your depth chart changes from, your mini camp through your training camp to game one to the end of the season, and our guys do pride themselves on continuing to compete throughout the year, and I think that's a nice staple of our program, that kids are always looking to get better.
Yeah, good. Well, we're really looking forward to the 2018 football season overall, and Spencer Columbus, a big part of that, and to kind of show an example of that. Again, I mentioned live streams here a couple times. Live streams available at ZaleskiSportsShow.com. Friday, August 17th, our game of the week is Spencer Stratford. Now, talk about two Central Wisconsin heavyweights, and then you get the chance to go nose to nose with the Stratford Tigers in week one. What are you looking for in that game?
Well, they're a very good team. We're excited to play them. It's going to be physical. They're well coached. They're very fundamentally sound, technique sound, and they have a lot of size and strength too. So I think that, when you look at their defensive line, it's one of the best that I've seen on film, and that's always tough to start up with. So we do look forward to the matchup. Like I say, they're a program that we have a lot of respect for, and very quality program. It's a great measuring stick early on as far as where we're at and where we need to go, what we need to improve upon. So I would expect it to be a very physical game. There's a lot of good football players on the field on both sides of the ball that know what they're doing too. And we look forward to the atmosphere. I think to have the two towns, so close to each other there. Both communities travel very well, and so we're anticipating a pretty large crowd. Should be a great environment. One of those, just Friday night high school, football game, Friday night lights, environments that a lot of people look forward to.
Yeah, like I said, Coach, I mean, I don't know a bigger game that I could even dream up to start the season. You mentioned the proximity, 11 miles. I mean, some folks, that's pretty short. Some people could even walk if they left early enough in the afternoon. And so you kind of mentioned it. I don't know that there'd be many people left at home in either community. I think that's going to be jam-packed. So get down there early, game time, 7 p.m., as always. Broadcast starts at 6:40. we're really looking forward to it. Coach, aside from that, that game will come and go, win or lose. There's going to be many more games. How do you kind of handicap the whole 2018 season? Or maybe a better question, what are the goals for the season?
We really have to focus 1 week at a time, especially in our conference. There's a lot of quality opponents, and after week 1, we'll have a much better idea of where we are at, and you take a look at some of the other scores around the league and see where other teams are at. But we can't get ahead of ourselves. We know that we'll have tough opponents early and often, and we just have to try to focus in at that one opponent at a time.
Yeah, good. Well, again, Coach, we're very excited about Rocket football this year. I know you are too. The live stream schedule I mentioned a couple times, we'll be at many of your games. Others will be highlighted, and you're going to be definitely well covered this year. We're really looking forward to it. Thanks for spending time on the couch. I hope it was good for you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Appreciate the coverage as always.
Yeah, you got it. All right, guys. Jason Zaleski here for Coach on the Couch. Thanks to our guest, Jason Gorst. Best of luck to all the football teams this year. We'll see you next time.